Good morning, everyone. My name is Kai Roldan. I work for SB Act, and this is the Eastside Rap meeting. Thank you all for coming. Um, we are still waiting for some key players here, but in the meantime, oh, here we go. I am joined here by my Executive Director of SB Act, Rich Sander. He's coming on right now. And we don't have many updates at the moment. We just have our next meeting is July 10th. This meeting is bi-weekly, so every other week. And there's Rich. I don't know, Rich, if you wanted to share, if you had any updates that you wanted to share with the group.
The only update that I have is that last night we had our 2-year anniversary for Faro. Have you mentioned that yet, Kai?
Not yet.
Yeah, so we opened the Faro Center 2 years ago. This is on Chapala between Ortega and Coda. This is the well, it's not a drop-in center. It was originally a drop-in center. It's an appointment-only center for people experiencing homelessness so they could come and have referrals. It was a nicely attended event, and it's one of those things that brings the community together. We're excited because we're currently in talks with the city about what next steps look like. So, went really well. So, thank you for all that.
Thanks, Rich.
Yeah.
And while we're doing introductions, we are joined today by Ryan Dijon. He is new to our group. I would love if you could introduce yourself to the group for me.
Yeah, thank you, Kai. So my name is Lieutenant Ryan DeJohn. I am replacing Lieutenant Nate Beltran, who you're used to seeing at these meetings. He was promoted to commander, so he's moved on to a new assignment. I'm filling his assignment. I've been with this department for 25 years. I've previously been a CAT team member, which is our bike team, and a CAT team supervisor as a sergeant. So I'm definitely familiar with a lot of what we're trying to achieve in this group. I also supervise our motor officers as well as our parking enforcement officers. So there's a lot of different groups I work with that can try and help with what we're trying to achieve in these meetings. In the comments section, I've shared my email address and my phone number. Anyone can call me anytime or email me anytime if they have things they want to talk about directly with me. I'd be happy to have those conversations. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Thanks, Lieutenant. And now we will move over to Carrie Payne from the city. Thanks for being here, and thank you for Wendy Santa Maria to council member joining us. Go ahead, Carrie.
Hi. So sorry I'm late, running from meeting to meeting. I'm Carrie Payne, the Housing and Homeless Services Manager. I don't have any real specific updates other than we are focusing on implementing our new oversized vehicle ordinance. And this means that there's just one small shift in how we are noticing folks and giving citations. We are hoping that a little increased enforcement, we will see some relief to the impacted areas, especially on the east side. So that ordinance has just gone into effect recently and it's just a minor shift, but we hope to see some positive impacts to the community.
Thanks, Carrie. Do you mind explaining a little bit about that ordinance and what the
Sure.
change is? Yeah.
So the changes is previously when we gave a warning to an oversized vehicle, they were required to move. And then once they moved, there was a new warning. And so now the way the ordinance is written, there's one warning that is accompanied by information about our outreach teams and resources that are available. And after that first warning, the subsequent warning, regardless of movement, is considered a violation. And PD can step in and correct me if I was incorrectly saying anything.
No, that's accurate. This new modification was designed to allow us to provide a good solid warning and then not have that do the same warning 6 hours later the next day. So that's going to be very helpful. And a lot of the other aspects of the ordinance didn't change, like the dimensions of the vehicle didn't change. And this is something that our park enforcement team is actively starting to work. So some of the problem areas, the underpass at Quarantina, some of those areas around the rescue mission, you'll start to see vehicles being tagged with warnings, and then we'll progress from there.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for explaining that. Okay, then let's move on to, I don't know if we have any community members in the group here, so I apologize if I'm not seeing you, but do we have any community questions or concerns before we get into encampment coordination?
Susie. So I just want to follow up regarding, because obviously the Quarantina area is, near our several locations. And so from what I understand, with the ordinance being updated and in effect, I think it was this week or something, the enforcement would be under Lieutenant, your department, right? And so if we see illegal activity as well in these oversized vehicles, we continue to call PD. Is that correct?
Yeah, if you ever see, in progress illegal activity, I would recommend just calling 911. So if you're seeing, for example, someone actively dumping waste from their vehicle, that's a 911 call. If you see people starting to get into a confrontation, call 911. Our parking enforcement, they're clearly not sworn police officers, so they will go out and deal with the parking issue. But other more serious crimes need to be handled by officers. And I will say that our CAT team officers, the bike officers, they're definitely well aware of some of these hot spots. I just checked in with them this morning, and they specifically talked about Quarantina and the area around the rescue mission. So they're definitely actively trying to have a presence there and address maybe what would be considered like some of the more serious issues, like people being under the influence or using or distributing drugs, whatever they may find that would allow us to intervene and try and get better, I guess, a better environment in those areas.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, you were quite swift yesterday because we call in some.
Oh, I think we're losing your audio there, Susie.
Just wanted to say kudos and thank you because we did call yesterday 911 regarding some drug activity.
Thanks, Susie.
I appreciate that. I mean, if I could just have one moment, there's one thing just for people to be aware of is that the way that we handle calls when they come into our communication center is it's kind of like a triage system. So based upon what we have going on in the city at the time and based upon our available officers, those things will have impacts on how quickly you may see an officer respond to any type of call. So we would love to be able to get there immediately every time someone calls, but there may be other stuff that's tying us up. But I'm glad yesterday it was a rapid response. So thanks for the compliment.
Awesome. Any other community questions or concerns before we move on?
I just have one other one. Do we have an update with regards to Mercy House? I think they had like a 6-month under.
Yeah. So we went through an RFP process. They were the highest ranking proposal that we received. And so we are in the contracting process with them for a long-term contract. That contract is a more extensive and complicated contract. And so it's taking us a little longer than we expected to get it complete. And so we have extended their 6-month term for another 2 months. So just to give us a little more breathing room and not rush that. So that's where we're at right now. And that there will be a homelessness just general update, as well as bringing our next fiscal year contracts, all of them to council on July 28th. Anybody's welcome to attend that as well.
Awesome.
Hi, Kai. This is Chris.
Hi.
I can't get my video to go on. My Mac has died. so many things are going on, but um, I just wanted to say regarding Mercy House, the good news is that I'm sure it's been conspicuously absent the people who used to complain about um, everything on Cassique Street at what's now Casa Cacique, and nobody is complaining anymore. So that should be a huge green flag for Mercy House. A big thank you for the way they are operating there. Um, it's we're real thankful, Carrie, that the city is really overseeing it now. And um, with the city's oversight and Mercy House's extraordinary an amazing way of being able to work with this population. It's just you don't see it. I live on Cassique Street, 4 blocks away. You don't see people hanging out there anymore. You don't see drugs being sold there anymore. You don't see people tearing apart and rebuilding bikes there anymore. You don't have to get high from the marijuana smoke when you walk by anymore. You don't find trash out there anymore. It's just 6 months into it, and it's a whole new world over there. It's so much better. It's so much improved on every level. And that's my 2 cents as a community member. Susie, I know you're like right next door, so you see a lot more than anybody else sees. Um, but from a person who lives on that street, goes by that street all the time for whether it's the post office or I have to go by there to go to my church and uh, just there was a time when I've worked at both Path and Mercy House, and there was a time when I was working at Path and some tourists were walking by and they were reading their directions on their phone. They were trying to find the funk zone, and I rerouted them. I said, this may be the shortest route, but I don't think you want to walk this way. There's people lurking and it's not pleasant. Go down Cabrillo and go up that way because I don't worry about that anymore. I don't worry about our tourists. I don't worry about people walking by. Um, and I just am just so happy and blown away by the improvement on that whole block now. Um, so my thanks to everybody at the city and at Mercy House for that. And yeah, City Net too. I mean, you're there all the time, um, and Wendy, thanks for being on the call. PD, thank you for you being here. Code enforcement, everybody, Rich. So, thank you all. Okay, I'm done. Sorry.
No, that's great. That's high praise.
Yeah, and I just kind of want to add, thank you so much, Chris. That means a lot to us, and it's definitely a whole collaboration effort. So definitely, working with all our partner agencies in the city, we've been able to work very well together. So, definitely, we look forward to continue, working with all of you.
Yeah, Nancy, kudos to Larry for his extra efforts. I don't know if he's a CEO or what he is, but he really went above and beyond any expectations of anybody in our community and meeting one-on-one with community members. That's just unheard of. So all my love and thanks.
That's great. Do we have anyone else before we move on? All right. Let's start with CityNet. I believe Olivia's here on behalf.
Yes, good morning. Yeah, things are going well. We've had quite a bit of engagement in the area. As you all know, our priority right now has been the Mercy House referrals. We do have a waiting list currently, but we've had beds opening up and people going in, and so that's mainly what we have had going on. I think that's about it.
It's great. Thanks, Livia. Um, let's move on to Mercy House. Do you have any updates, Nancy?
Um, just a quick update that we're still, seeing the, renovations and improvements of the at the site. We recently had the lockers replaced at the, at the shelter. So I know the clients have been working with us and kind of, reorganizing their belongings, putting them there in the new lockers. They look, I mean, they're brand new, so that looks a lot different than what we used to have for them. And just we continue to, making sure that our navigation team, stays on top of creating housing plans with all of the clients at the shelter, and that we, we're able to see them move to permanent housing. So, yeah, we continue to focus on that.
Thanks, Nancy. And let's go over to Andrew with code enforcement.
Thanks, Kai. For the east side with code enforcement, it's been a lot of our, kind of usual hotspots that we, some are continuing challenges for us, which include East John and Ollie, the underpass regions. On Thursdays, we regularly clean East John and Ollie around the rescue mission. We had some great support from the CAT team yesterday, down there to help us get it, back into more manageable condition. We do see it can be just a matter of hours before we see individuals return and things like that. So I know at times it can seem like nothing has changed, but we are making those efforts and working to address those issues. It's a big city for us to cover, but the underpasses in those areas are still receiving attention with power washing. There was a request for an even deeper cleaning to take place on the Milpas and Cacique areas at those underpasses. We asked for assistance from downtown parking because their department has like a much more robust system versus our kind of independent contractor. So they did come down, and the Cacique underpass was they went over it, I believe, like 3 times with a power scrub machine. I mean, it's you can still there's still some things there. It doesn't return it to brand new concrete, but they did an excellent job and really worked to to get it as clean as they can with that system. So, seeing some good improvements in those areas. With this warm, nice weather, we see a lot of movement down to the beach. So we're actively addressing encampments along the waterfront, the beach. We have some individuals that are pretty comfortable down in those areas, but it's just a team effort between the CAT team and the park rangers and addressing any of the trash or waste concerns as they come up. So otherwise, we are still seeing a good bit of activity on Milpas, particularly the 300 block. We have abandoned shopping carts that pop up for us in various locations. Fortunately, we're generally able to take care of those. We work in a standard business week, and so generally, within one business day, we can have those removed, if not on the same day. So we appreciate everyone reporting on SB Connect as they can. Pictures are awesome. If you see something, it really helps us to know what we're headed out to deal with out there. So, but otherwise, yeah, it's been pretty much business as usual for us out there.
Thanks, Andrew. And then, Jerianne, do you have any updates from the rescue mission?
Yeah, sure. I'm not on this call very often, so for those who don't know, I am Jerry Ann Fletcher, and I'm the director of our homeless shelter. Yeah, so happy to be here this morning. Um, our beds have remained pretty full. I know they were completely at capacity last night, but it changes every night. So if you have somebody, it's always best to give us a call ahead of time. Um, yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for our beds. We have another case manager starting on Monday, that we're really excited about. So we have our case management services are still they're still going strong and working with as many people as we can in the shelter. Um,
For our connected care dorm, we are still looking for somebody to replace Greg, who was our connected care case manager. So we've paused intakes into that dorm until we find somebody. So we'll keep you guys updated on that. And then I think the only other update I have is for the 4th of July on Saturday, on the actual 4th, we're doing a barbecue at the rescue mission, which we do every year. But if you, I know, yeah, we know it can be kind of difficult for people on the 4th of July, especially this year. It's supposed to be a big one. And so yeah, you're welcome to let people know they can come and hang out at the rescue mission. We're gonna do a barbecue and there'll be like carnival games. And a raffle and such. So yeah, it's a space for them to come and hang out. It's usually pretty fun. Yeah, I think that's all I have.
So, thanks, Jarianne.
Yeah, thank you.
And then, uh, Ryan, I was wondering, Lieutenant, if you had anything that you wanted to update us on in terms of homelessness.
Sure. And Andrew kind of touched on the hot spots. I'll add to that my CAT team is saying that there's more encampments starting to pop up and more foot traffic on the train tracks down off Milpas, and that's largely probably because of the park renovation that's happening. There's been some displacement, and that's important that we try and maintain some control there, just because it is so dangerous, and train fatalities are a real concern. So we're paying attention to that. Back to the oversized vehicles, just because it's kind of current events. Uh, Another meeting this week kind of highlighted an area on De La Guerra Street between the junior high school and the Armory that's has a pretty robust population there that also spills onto Quarantina. So there's different groups that are trying to provide services to those areas, and we're also going to look for some oversized vehicle enforcement in those areas. Otherwise, I'm happy to take any questions, but I think it's probably been covered. Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan. All right, and then sort of the last call for community concerns before we move into talking amongst the service providers. All right. Well, thank y'all for coming. We thank you both for coming on here always. We'll see y'all next time.
Thanks all. Have a good weekend.
All right. Is there anything that we wanted to talk about together as a group?
We had some, I've been giving this meeting invite out to a couple community members, but I don't know if you guys do direct outreach. But the Santa Cruz Market on Montecito Street has been expressing that, their business is being impacted by folks hanging around. And so I think it would be really great if they came and just had a regular contact. And they have my contact information as well. But if y'all stop by or do any outreach in that area, that might be good. And then there's some other businesses on Yananali, but I don't know their business names. But yeah, I was just curious if you guys go and like do active outreach for these meetings, or is it mostly just announced and posted places?
Yeah, if there's people expressing wanting to come to these meetings, if you have their contact information, I'm more than happy to reach out to them and let them know what these meetings are about and how they can join and things like that, and put them on our list to email them.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you feel free to email me if you have that information.
Thank you.
Mhm. All right. Anything else? Any specific clients, anything like that? No. Okay.
No, not from Mercy Houses End.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you all so much for coming. Just a reminder, our next meeting will be July 10th at 10 a.m. It was good to see you all, and have a very good weekend.
All right, bye.
All right. Bye.
Thanks all.